last forever. We'll go beyond. It's been a while now since love's been in this place. You see, many have tried, but no one could take your place, girl. Why you so beautiful? I see the future in your face, baby. Never in a million years I thought that you'd be mine, girl. That you'd be mine, girl. Never thought I would fall. No, never. But my heart's been stolen again. But my heart's been stolen. Last forever. We will go. Ooh, baby. We will go, baby. We keep going and growing, girl. The best thing is knowing, girl. Cause when we KISSING, all I can say is OMG. My love in my life, you make all things right, baby. I trust you, girl, with my life. I don't want nobody but you. I'ma put my ring on you. Never thought no, never. Ooh, baby. Again. This time, hope it lasts forever. We'll go beyond. We will go so far. Beyond. You'll always find what you're looking for, and you ain't looking for a thing. We ain't looking for a thing. Yeah, you'll always find what you're looking for, and you ain't looking for a thing. Never thought I. No, never. Ooh, baby. Been stolen again. This time, hope it lasts forever. You hope, baby. I hope it lasts forever, girl. I hope it lasts forever, girl. Hey, 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 hey. You will go, baby. You will go, baby. Ooh, you will go, baby. We will go so far, baby. I hope it lasts forever, baby.
Yo, I think I'm gonna really give up this life. Just try to be a better guy, But wait. Man, they got a good girl, and they really feel like go treat you a certain way.
I understand.
So what's up with you?
The girls. Some things about kind of resolve.
I think I can just, apologize and start fresh and clear the slate, and hopefully, that will work out for me.
Well, if it makes you happy, give it a try. She deserves it, right?
Hey, give you a call and see how it works out, man.
Let me know how it goes.
For sure. Thanks, man.
No problem.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, baby, how you doing? Before you hang up, can you just listen for a while? I was stupid, I'll admit it. Should've never done anything to take away your smile. So I dropped my pride, all my cards are laid. I know I hurt you most definitely, and I'm trying to make it right. I wanna take away your pain. Said you need your space and you're trying to live, but I'm really hoping that you can forgive me. I'm wrong, I wrote this song, it's been too long. Forgive me, baby. Baby, please, this is my apology. I was wrong, I was wrong. Don't you leave, this is my apology. I was wrong, I was wrong. So baby, can I come over and show you how sorry I am? I'll make you my lady tonight. Oh, if you want it, put your request in and I'll be on it. We'll make sweet love all through the night. I didn't know you would pick up the phone, and now I'm wondering if you were alone, girl. If so, just let me know. I wanna plan a rendezvous. Please forgive me, don't turn away. I wanna try again starting today, honey. I'll fight, I'll treat you right. See me tonight, I'll fix this, baby. Baby, please, this is my apology. I was wrong, I was wrong, girl. Don't you leave, this is my apology. I was wrong, I was wrong. Don't you leave, no, no. I was wrong, I apologize. Oh, believe me, I do. I apologize. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Ooh, I'm sorry. I am. I'm sorry. I am. Baby, ooh, I'm sorry. Ooh, I'm sorry. I am. I'm sorry. I am. Baby, please, this is my apology. I was wrong. I was wrong, girl. Don't you leave. My apology. Oh, baby, please. Ooh, I was wrong. I apologize. This is my apology. I do. I was apologize. I was wrong.
Hello.
Hey babe, what you doing?
Nothing.
Can you come over?
Yeah, not easy.
Anybody ever told ya what a woman really is? If you ever get the moment, show them how much they give. You're a shoulder I can cry on, arms I can embrace. Is to hear my deepest thoughts, protect her night and day. You are mother, sister, daughter, nieces, aunties, wives. You are amazing, cause you have given life. You are mother, sister, daughter, nieces, aunties, wives. You are all amazing. I try to describe. You are woman. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are woman. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are woman. Yes, you are. Yes, you You are woman. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You have birthed the nations. A nurturer you are. You bless us with your wisdom, and you tended every scar. You have found me broken. You have shown me light. You ignited all my passions and loved me through the night. You are mother, sister, daughter, nieces, aunties, wives. You are all amazing, cause you have given life. You are mother, sister, daughter, nieces, aunties, wives. You are all amazing. I try to describe. You are woman. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are woman. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are woman. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are woman. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
To be a woman is to be blessed with unparalleled intuition, to be powerful, power independent of place or position. To be a woman is to be a mother, giving birth to sons and daughters, ideas, institutions, and business ventures. To be a woman is to be the current inspiration, the future aspiration of a young lady, of a little girl.
You're a masterpiece of harmony, a melody of life. You're a gem, a diamond flower in spring, you're one of a kind. You're a masterpiece of harmony, a melody of life. You're an African queen flower in spring, you're one of a kind. You are mother, sister, daughter, nieces, aunties, wives. So you are amazing. I try to describe. You are woman. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are woman. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are woman. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are woman. You are woman. You are woman. You are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are woman. You are woman. So you are woman. Hey. And when obstacles manifest as natural, you are born for this.
To be a woman is to be the heart of the system, to be the one who brings life into our world.
Warning. What you are about to hear goes against traditional romantic counsel expressed by friends, family, and Instagram memes in quotes. Open-mindedness is advised.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, and welcome to another edition of the Senate Podcast. Ah, boy. Get them all. Don't spare none. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, and welcome to another edition of the Senate Podcast. Yes, sir. We are back. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages. I'm your host, Neil. He is your host, Derek. And together we bring you another edition of the Senate Podcast. My brother, how is everything? How is it going? What's going on?
Man, I here trying to put everything together, get my head ready in this here in the game, and be ready to crank here so one more time.
Once more again.
So I hear, man, the little third had a pretty long day in the field, literally in the field. But here, man, you know, sports term and all that. So
Yeah.
Trying to manage everything, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But how was everything your side, man?
Well, I good. Today was a long day for me as well, and just like you, it is the season, so gotta be up and down behind the tourists them. But really and truly, everything good. Can't complain. You know, have a new motivation, a new feel for how you want to proceed this year. So yeah, man, just going through the motions, as they say, and trying to level up, as they say. You know.
Yeah, man.
So you know, if we can get it, we can get there. With Jah grace and Jah glory, right? So anyhow, you would hear some young fellas singing sweetly at the top of the program. Though that is G-Syndicate. They're the premier acapella crew in the Western Hemisphere. That is the brainchild and baby of Derek. Derek is going to talk a bit about G-Syndicate and let you know what's going on with them.
Yeah, man. The man there, you can find us G-Syndicate6.com. You can find us on everything at G-Syndicate6. That's here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, SoundCloud, everything G-Syndicate6. Shout out to the guys, Kiamal, Vaden, Mark, Brett, Hugh. We're going to be at Sage Bar next Friday. And we're preparing a nice show for everybody. So come out, man. Come out and check it out. And we can do some nice music for you.
Yeah, man. Check out G-Syndicate. And yeah, that's it. Check out G-Syndicate and let's get it. We get the energy here, all man. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the Senate Podcast. Please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit notification bell so you don't miss anything. We are doing content for you. We are going to get back to the shorts. We got some shorts that we got to bring back. So starting Monday, the shorts can be back in full effect. I feel like we got so much content out there. I can release them fast and furious like Vin Diesel. So we are going to be releasing content from next Monday for the Senate Shorts. And then, of course, we do this space, the Senate Podcast, where we talk the things about life, love, and everything in between from a man's perspective. Again, that is a part that people need to realize from a man's perspective. And yeah, please like, comment, share, subscribe so you don't miss anything. Anyhow, we got people in the chat. We got Marlon. We got Stephen Wu, a.k.a. the Bougie Mama. We got Philip. We got Jerron. We got Cherish. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Man. Yeah, man. And I know people are going to start to slowly file in. It is a Thursday night, and, you know, they got a lot of things going on and happening. So we here. No, as I said, every Tuesday and Thursday, we come here and we talk the things raw and wriggling in this space. Derek would usually go on our social media platforms, the Senate Podcast, on Facebook. You could check us out there. Give us a like and a follow there. Derek would usually go and he would usually speak about what we can be talking about next. Kind of get you lubed up. No, that's just a lubed up. But get us prepped. Get us. Yeah, it just takes one inappropriate sentence to get things going. But yeah, Derek went on social media today and he proposed the following: dream a little dream. You know, Derek likes his movie titles and everything like that. Dream a little dream. What are the consequences of holding on to the impossible standards for a partner? This is stemming, of course, from the discussion we would have had on Tuesday, Dream Girls, where we were speaking about the unrealistic standards women have for men, and you know how impossible it is to have those dreams. You know, the criteria and everything for to qualify to get in the door for modern women. So anyhow, my brother, over to you. We will get into it raw and wriggling. I know we have a lot of content. We got some videos. We got, you know, but no should know, okay, no, man. I ain't gonna prep.
You know who we coming down. You know who we coming down.
Yeah.
As you say, raw and wriggling. It just making sure that I send the link to the people so we can get them in the house, so that everybody can be here. You know, for this particular show, because this is going to be an interesting one. This is going to be informative. I hope it shines a light on, you know, what's really going on out there and gives people a little bit more understanding as to what's happening and why it's happening. I think you say, I think part of the thing is the why, you know. Mm-hmm. So I hoping that these shows are able to highlight and dig down in somebody why. Now that I look here and I send in this out, Neil, I think we should give our guy Isaac a little bit of a plug.
Oh yes. For
next week's show.
Mm-hmm.
Isaac, he is going to be opening. He's going to be the opening act at the Brown show next week. So because of that, folks, we are not going to be here next Thursday. Neil and I we going to support our guy Isaac. To, you know, his first time out, so we're going to give him some support to make sure that, you know, we support him. His first time doing stand-up comedy. I love stand-up comedy, as you guys will know. Yeah. So I figure it's important to go support men doing positive things. I don't know if we have the graphic.
Put it up. Yeah, you gotta look for that real quick.
Let me see if I can find it quickly, so we can just share it with everybody. We can share it again later in the night. I got it here. So if you could just get it on screen first, that'd be great. Yeah. We're not going to call the name of the show.
No, we cannot call it. Well, we could.
We could, but
technically we could, but
based on how I operate on social media, I won't do that. Yeah. This is just, you know, this is the name of the show. Let's let you know you're on screen, Neil.
It's good. Let me get
New Year, same archery. It's on the 26th. That's next Thursday, 9 o'clock. I was trying to see if we could swing doing an earlier show and kind of make it work, but you know, it wouldn't kill to take a little warm.
Yeah, you're on screen, and only that too. But I sure I could dig up something in my bag of tricks to put on. Just get us some homework to discuss, you know. But yes, it's the New Year, same archery. Yes, 26th of January, 9 p.m. And that probably works so well because you know, I may be a little late that. So yeah, that works so very well. So come on out if you like stand-up comedy, if you want to support men doing things, shoot, if you just want to get with host, come down to Jamestown Bar and you know, let me enjoy a good night. Shoot, we can be there. Dave Brown can be there. Our boy Isaac, he's a guy that's played basketball with us and things like that. Good fella. I'm interested to see, because stand-up is something that I've always wanted to toy with, to try, but I am not necessarily brave enough to get on stage and crack some jokes. And plus, my humor is a bit inappropriate, so I want to get put out. So anyhow, come out. Let me have a time.
With my Jerron saying, hopefully y'all don't hit me with anything too critical, because here on my way home at the road icy, need all my facilities. So yeah, please focus on that, Jerron. We want you to get in safely, and you know, just be careful out there, my brother.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man. Neil, I don't know if you're ready. If you're ready to crank. Oh, by the way, folks, this is episode what? This is episode 189 or something like that.
188.
Episode 188. The Senate podcast. Folks, hit the like, share, subscribe button, hit the notification bell as well. Get in there. We got 468 subscribers. If we get your numbers up, we hit the like button. That's the only cost of admission. So hit the like button and, you know, let me do a thing. Yeah, Neil, go ahead when you're ready.
They could start. I could start. We could start the crank.
Yeah, we can start the crank.
All right, let's get it. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Yeah, a little rough for that chick.
Let me get the second one here. So on to the.
Yeah, this second one here, you may recognize this lady. This is Lala Anthony.
Let me get Lala up on screen then, because she's a woman I like. Woman I like. Yeah, she on screen here. So
I heard you on a podcast saying that only 22-year-old guys want to date you.
I retract my statement.
Oh, really?
It's been the top of the year, and I don't feel like any guys want to date me.
Oh, really? Who are you after? What sort of age bracket do you want to date?
Age ain't nothing but a number.
But how do you get like someone like would you like a 40-year-old or would you prefer a 22-year-old?
I prefer whoever is for me. Whoever God says is for me, I'm good with it.
Is it hard to carry a conversation with a young dude though? Like you connect with them differently?
Everybody's different. 22 is a little too young.
22 is too young?
A little bit too young.
Hey, what about 34?
We can do that.
Hey!
yeah, that had a lot of thought for them though. Cause I didn't engage in them in so much.
You're right.
Just let had them and snore their talking about. You been the cool and thing. Not me.
But yeah. So on Tuesday, we spoke of some of the impossible standards which women seem to want men to meet in order to qualify, in order to date them. And we also discovered that being a good man is simply not enough. You can see that again. And it really exposed some of the problems we have in the dating market, particularly as Black people. So I want to kick off tonight's show with the clip of Dr. Umar Johnson. Now, Dr. Umar is a favorite of a few of you on this channel, and he was on a podcast recently where he had a few things to say as a way of explaining the plight of Black women in the dating market. So we're going to have a watch of that clip and we're going to come back.
All right, let's get it.
Professionally, there's a difference. And what I mean by that, okay, because let me tell you what I see. A lot of sisters will spend their best years playing around with men who they're sexually attracted to, but have absolutely no promise for them as a husband or as a father. The woman knows this, but she's attracted to him sexually. He's popular. He's swagalicious. She knows he's not husband material. She knows he's not father material. But I love the attention I'm getting from this handsome, attractive, popular man. Mm-hmm. When she gets too old to be of any use to men of that type, the swag daddies, she now goes out looking for a husband. At this point, you're 35 to 45, still gorgeous, because Black don't crack. But brothers 35 to 45, especially in their 40s and 50s, when they come across a drop-dead gorgeous sister who hasn't been married, and in some cases haven't even had children, a lot of brothers tend to back off. They say something ain't right here, because who you are and what you bring to the table, somebody should have been snatched you up. And most men tend to assume, and very often accurately so, that you wasted your 20s and 30s playing the field instead of getting serious about building your family. Sisters tend to do exactly what brothers do in their 20s and 30s, and that is play around and enjoy themselves. The problem with that is men can make babies forever. Women cannot. And so I think in the socializing of our daughters.
All right. So Dr. Umar said that women use their 20s having fun pursuing the studs, and then tried to essentially hit a buzzer beater in the mid-30s. He even admitted that he experienced this very phenomenon because he wasn't one of the desirable men on campus. But now that he's more visible, I'm going to say visible, I'm hesitant to say successful, those same ladies are now trying to get access to him. Women like to say relationships are like businesses. So allow me to use a business analogy here. If you want to buy shares and have equity in a business, you need to do so early. If you want to buy shares after the business is successful, you will have to pay more for the shares. The people who got in early got the benefit of getting their equity in the business for cheap. Ladies who wait until their late 30s to try to get a successful man will have to do more in order to jump the line ahead of ladies who were there from the beginning. Now, this dating strategy that Dr. Umar is talking about is only part of the issue. I'll give you guys the more critical part, the why of why that's happening in a little bit. But right now, let's take a look at some screenshots from the spiritual word. Again, you know, the spiritual word be wailing. But this particular post was very, very interesting. These screenshots were posted about 2 weeks ago, and they're by a lady who was lamenting the fact that all her friends were married and she was now all alone by her lonesome self. So let's keep what Dr. Umar said in mind as we have a read through these screenshots and we can do some analysis, right? So give me the first one there. So nearly we get on the road.
All right, you're on screen.
All right, so we go. She says, full transparency, I've been alone for a long time now, but this is the first time in a long time that I've been lonely. Most of my friends are married or in relationships, so I'm always third wheeling, being out with a couple now or just being by myself. She continues, and making more friends doesn't help. I have no shortage of platonic intimate bonds, but that's not the type of intimacy my heart is craving. She has no shortage of platonic intimate bonds. This tells us that there are men in her orbit, people, but those men are deemed not good enough, and they are now in the friend zone. Those are not the men that she really wants. Let's crack on. Society keeps telling women to love themselves as if self-love will ever replace the desire for romantic love. And they also tell us to be strong and we don't need no man to define us, as if admitting you want to be loved makes you weaker than pretending you don't care. So here's the question, folks. Who is society? Who is society? Make no mistake about it, folks. Men have never been the ones to say to ladies en masse that they don't need no man. As a matter of fact, men are trying to get with the women. And then we get labeled as being creeps and nuisances. So it's not men pushing the you don't need no man narrative. This is a case of women telling other women this. So it's another case of women keeping women single. Let's crack on. She says, I feel vulnerable enough to share this because I know there's a lot of men and women that can relate. Yeah. All right, we say men and women. Sure. In the interest of fairness, but we really don't. We'll get it all here. Loneliness is a very real emotion. I feel vulnerable enough. Don't let anyone make you feel desperate for admitting you feel it. Here's the problem. By the time many women get to this stage of loneliness, they're actually already desperate, or at best desperate adjacent. If you don't want to call it desperate adjacent. It's like thirst. You say, well, you time you get thirsty, you've been thirsty for a while. By the time many women get to this stage of loneliness, you're lonely. They're actually already desperate of the options that you want.
We were speaking about the unrealistic standards women have.
Ladies, you got to do your best to get out of the
game
and before you're already desperate, or you've lost more than you can afford to lose. Let's press on. What else did she say? This season of loneliness is self-inflicted. I haven't been held by a man in a really long time. I haven't dated or slept with anyone in a long time. I went through a lot in the past and I finally gave myself permission to heal. when I was at school, it was a shoot even up to this day.
To this day.
I love playing basketball or cricket. And when I was at school, I used to play after school. You know that.
Yeah.
Now, if you remember correctly, Neil, immediately after school, we always had numbers to get good games. As a matter of fact, when we first started playing, we used to play for the high ring, right?
Yeah. The NCAA.
Yeah, we play NCAA, then you graduate to the lower ring, right?
Yeah, which is the NBA. That's inside
correct.
Job. Yep.
But the closer it got to 5 o'clock, people got collected. If you remember correctly, immediately after school, we always had quality of the games. As a matter of fact, become more diluted. When we first started playing, we used to play for the high ring. So suddenly now on the court, we got ballers, a volleyballer, track man or a football man, and a tennis man. Two of them just there waiting to get collected, and they're like, shoot, let me come around a little bit too. Right?
Yeah.
As a fella, I still kept playing because I love the sports and I wanted to improve.
Right.
But after everybody had left, I had to be the one to make my way home all alone by my lonesome self.
Yep. Ruben here calling it the regulation ring.
The regulation ring, correct. You do not know that lower ring thing, the lesser Davey.
Yep.
I know this young lady has found herself in the very same position. All her friends got collected. Everybody had left. I had to be the new one to leave the game and get the bus and go on, but she didn't.
Yep.
This young lady kept playing, playing. Never once thinking that the game would end for her. Why? Because her friends were right there with her. Every turn up, girls night out, blah, blah. She was having so much fun, she didn't realize everybody was leaving the game. Everybody was getting collected. Now she has to find her way home, much like I did, all alone, by her lonesome self. The only difference here is that I didn't mind my journey. Right? I didn't mind. I just get out to clear what made that walking good. Right? Can't do that now. I'm too old for that walk. But this chick is clearly bothered because she's written her last will and testament on Twitter, much like I did, about her misery. And let me be real, folks, that's why it is misery. But at least she knows that it's self-inflicted. So shout out to her for being accountable, right? Give me the next one there, Neil.
Because after she gave herself permission. I love it.
Yeah. You got to give yourself permission. In this healing, I have to separate logic from emotion. Logically, I need to continue on the path I'm on because the men I've chosen weren't good for me. So until I do better by myself, I have to stay by myself. That's the logic.
Amen.
Yeah. The men I've chosen weren't good for me. So until I do better by myself, I have to stay by myself. That's the logic.
Love that.
Logic also dictates that you get some professional assistance with your problems. Yeah. Find out. You need to find out why you've been choosing the men that you've been choosing, right? That's critical. Now, this one is a doozy. Emotions say this doesn't feel good. It's critical. Why can't you go back to the last guy or call someone to give you attention? Your emotions don't always have your best interests because they don't want you to feel pain. Sometimes you have to be sad for your long-term happiness goal. Give me the next one time, Neil, because these two are going together. My long-term goal is marriage and more children, partnership and stability, protection and support. So I have had to consciously choose to put my long-term goals over my temporary satisfaction. What is she really saying? She needs to look for the guy who is stable and wants to cover a family, a wife and family, with his 4 Ps. It's not just about the short-term high of being with someone because of their physical attractiveness. That's what she's saying. She now wants and needs to look for a partner based on more permanent interests. Is he conscientious, kind, intelligent, desirous of being in a family unit? These are the things that women need to look for in a partner more so than physical attractiveness, which brings me to the why of Dr. Umar's point. As Dr. Umar said, enjoy yourself in your 20s and then, try to jump the ship in the 30s.
Mm-hmm.
And we spoke about this. We did a show, Beauty is Only Skin Deep. Talked about physical attraction.
Mm-hmm.
Black women in particular have no real positive examples of women in relationships with men. That is why this is happening. Let me say that again. Yeah. Black women in particular have no real positive examples of women in relationships with men. Don't see it on screen, in movies, or in mainstream media. Hence, the requirements for men tend to be based on a very primitive and primal level, primal criteria. Or women will look at how good a man looks. Can he beat at the parquet, as the people in Guyana say? Can he beat at the parquet? Because I'm sure what other purposes do men serve. Fear and bad faith are a terrible combination. And they come together to make women believe that there are no good men or relationships out there. Women believe if they get in a relationship, they're going to be mistreated. So they make a decision that if they're going to be mistreated, at least let the man be attractive. Sure, nobody don't get cheating off on an attractive partner. That's double negative, right? Women cannot realistically fathom. That's one thing they can't fathom it. They cannot fathom being with a man who is not physically attractive, even if he can cover her with his 4 Ps. So they end up trying to employ what we call the dual mating strategy. They date and give up the parquet to the physically attractive guys in their 20s, then try to marry the 4 Ps guy later in their 30s, after they've had their fun, as Dr. Umar said. After we did part 1 on Tuesday, when I got up on fines, so I want us to now watch the Bangs chick first, just to get a little bit of a refresher, and then we'll watch the one that greeted me on Wednesday morning. Bangs chick should be somewhere down by the bottom.
This is I got the Bangs chick here. This is one that was on Tuesday.
Yeah. Give me Bangs chick, and then we get the other one, I think, which is number 12.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get it.
Yeah.
So earlier this year, I ended a relationship and cut off an engagement from a great man. He was a good man. He loved God. He was a praying man. He loved and adored me. He was there for me. He was handsome. He was well educated. He didn't have any kids. He checked all the boxes. But there was still something missing. And I just knew that I could not go through with this marriage. There was just something that did not connect. I felt that there should have been a connection between he and I in order for me to be his wife. And so I cut off the engagement. And it was so difficult because he was a good man. It's easy when a person is not good. You can justify why you cut things off. But when a person is truly a good person, it's hard to explain. So I found myself trying to explain it to family and friends, and they were asking me a whole bunch of questions that, I could not say, exactly why, other than the fact that I just did not feel the connection. There was something that was not there that I needed to be there in order for this to be my husband. And so I stopped trying to explain it, and I just trusted my decision, and I went on. But then I got an epiphany, and it was just like, have you ever been shoe shopping and you saw a nice pair of shoes and it's like, ooh, I love the color. I love the style. The heel is the right size and it's a reasonable price. Like it's on sale and it's a good shoe. But then when you approach the shoe, you see that it's a size 6 and you need a size 7. Does it take away from the fact that the shoe is a good shoe? Does it take away from the fact that you're getting a great deal for the quality? Does it take away from the fact that the heel is still the right size? It doesn't matter. All of that still makes the shoe is still good. But if it's not your size, it's not the shoe for you. And so that is what I had to accept. Yes, he was a good man. But what that feeling was is that he was not a great fit for me. It didn't take away from who he was, but it was just confirmation that he was not a good fit for me. And that leads me to say that some of us are trying to force relationships when we know they don't fit. It doesn't mean that the person is not good. It doesn't mean that they are not good-hearted people. It just means that they're not a good fit for you. So free them up. Don't continue to settle for things that you know is going to cause discomfort in the future. Me purchasing a size 6 shoe when I wear a 7 is discomfort. Don't do it.
Doesn't do it, man. Don't do it. Don't do it. My mom, when my Tango Fox said still BS. Still BS, Tango Fox.
Don't care how you slice it, it's BS. Don't care how you slice it, turn it wrong, flip it wrong, it's still BS. Give me the next one, because I said on Tuesday that she was not the only person with that kind of, thought process. And wake up Wednesday morning, here you go again. So give me that one.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes a woman can talk her out of a relationship. You can talk. We do that.
Yes,
we will talk.
I'm gonna say something, and this might ruffle little feathers. I don't think just being a good man is enough to stay in a relationship with them.
But when I say a good man, I mean like he's good. That means all around. That means himself, spiritually, mentally, physically.
That's great.
Healthily, like he's a good man.
That doesn't mean that he's the man for you. And
right.
Maybe when you're going through these motions of getting to know him, you're realizing, okay, he's a great person, but honestly, I don't fuck with his humor. Like, he could be funny, but he's not funny to me.
And that's why a lot of modern women are getting 40 with 4 cats and no man, because
maybe that's what
he's a good man, but because he's not funny, you gotta throw that out.
Right. I remember that was in our group chat.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing that and thinking, something ain't making sense there. In that she's speaking from a place of pretty privilege. Because only a woman that's saying something like, oh, maybe she like cats, maybe she choosing, maybe she has a choice. She knows she got it.
That's the thing, right? Ladies, you need to be very circumspect about to whom you choose to listen or to advise, right? There were several people who responded to the comment section trying to philosophize, actually the girl with the shoes thing, the ridiculousness of what my friend in the beige was saying. And that's the hurtful part about it, because that's my kind of type there.
Yeah.
It was a little hurtful to hear she spoke in that. But the comment section revealed that a lot of people clearly have no understanding of what is required to make a relationship work and last for the long haul. So let's get 13, 14, 15. Let me come down in line here. Let's hear these comments. See these people in the chat, right? Somebody says, but the lady in beige is not wrong. Nothing she said was stupid. Just because he or she is a good man or a woman doesn't automatically equate to a mutual sustainable attraction nor a relationship that was meant to be. See, we're talking about attraction. We're going next one. Just because somebody is a good person or whatever doesn't mean they are compatible with you. She missed her whole point. Next person says these comments, this is exactly why relationships are in the drastic state that they're in today. All y'all and this fairy tale Mr./Mrs. Right notion y'all have is damaging. This is why we say by 2050, damn near half of women gonna be single and childless. China will rule us all. This person says, to my kings out here, never argue about dating with a single woman that is 30 plus. You will never win or change your minds. You will only waste your time. Yeah. There's a perspective I'm starting to take. Somebody says, because the girl with the short hair failed to articulate her point. What she meant to say is just because he's a good man doesn't mean he's a man for me. She doesn't want to settle. Everybody tired settling. Get it? She needs to expound on this notion. Somebody says, I don't think she failed to articulate at all. The other girl just refused to see her point of view. I got exactly what she was saying. Offer it. Of course you do. This person says the cat community is tired of being demonized.
Hard.
Yeah. Somebody says stop justifying. If you can't articulate your thought, then you don't need a mic in front of you. True. It's okay. People can be indecisive. So stop preaching like you got the game when clearly you don't even what you want to do, let alone give advice. Somebody says, I think y'all kind of haven't spoken to any married people or people that have real relationships. While y'all think short hair has a point, long hair is talking about longevity. There will always be something about a person that you don't like passing up on a good man. Yeah? We spoke about this on Tuesday. Somebody said, girl with short hair had a point before being shut down. LOL, just because a person is a great person doesn't necessarily mean y'all will gel in a relationship. Men pass up good women all the time that they're not interested in too. And vice versa. I'm tired of all this pandering. Funny. Somebody says, I don't see the problem. Y'all want us to settle so bad for someone who may or may be a good person, but that isn't the right person for me. Why should I settle for someone with whom I don't vibe with or don't find his humor funny just because he's a good one? Your point is valid. The good man tends to be based on a few points, but a relationship is a lot of points. And you have to look at as many as possible. If you don't click, you don't click. No, here's the thing. You talk about a relationship is based on many points, but you're talking about clicking. Yeah? What is clicking? Somebody says, I'd rather be 40 with cats and happy with myself than in a relationship with someone. Yeah? Get out of the echo chamber of women telling you what you want to hear, ladies. Please do that. At the risk of sounding like I'm mansplaining or telling women what to do, you need to get out of the echo chamber. Sometimes you will need to hear a hard truth, a reality check, and there's nothing wrong with that. We all need one at some point in our lives. What did Screenshot Lady say? Emotions say this doesn't feel good. Why don't you go back to the last guy or call someone to give you attention? Your emotions don't always have your best interests because they don't want you to feel pain, but sometimes you have to be sad for your long-term happiness goal. Getting a bitter truth can help to save you some heartache, help you achieve the relationship results you say you want. This is not about wanting you to settle. It's not that at all about what you settle. Shoot, women are hypergamous by nature, so they're always going to be looking to get the best, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's about recognizing that maybe, just maybe, you may be overestimating your sexual market value and your relationship market value. You're not talking about your value as a human being. That's different. Talking purely your value to a man sexually. And every woman is the same in that regard. Too many women have an overinflated sense of their sexual market value. So they hold out Prince Charming without understanding that they simply do not qualify for that man. And as such, may be best to lower their expectations. You know, they had that in my TV. Lower the expectations. Yeah.
Yep.
Now, we talked just now. One of these people said, you know, she'd rather be 40 with cats and happy, that last person. Now, I want us to watch this clip of Taraji P. Henson. Everybody knows Taraji, right? Famous actress. We gonna watch this clip of her on a podcast recently, and I want us to hear and watch what she had to say, and we can come back, right?
You're always the
life of the party.
You're life of the party, and
it was my best friend that said it. She was like
challenging.
It is very challenging. She said, you know, I watch you and Taraji, no matter what you're going through, you will go into it. She said, you're such an empath. You're so compassionate that no matter what you're going through, and I know you'll go into a room and you'll see people not able to pull themselves up, and you'll be that person, and you'll ignore your whole what you're going through, your mental state. You'll ignore it just to lift that room up.
That's exhausting, though.
Right.
Yeah, that's tiring.
And I'm just getting to
it's
point.
kind, but it's like...
I'm just getting to this point where it's like, it's empty for me now. Like, I can do it, and I love it. I love to make people happy and smile. But then what about me? Because I go home in the shadows in the four corners of my room. Who's there to lift me up? So this trip to Bali ain't got nothing to do with my friends, my mama, my dad, my kid. No, this is me.
What are you hoping to get out of it?
I'm trying to find that happiness again. That happiness that was innately in me. You know,
were you like a happy kid, like a happy?
I was the only kid. I could play by myself. I had the most incredible imagination. That's why I'm an actress. That's why I am the actress that I am, because I had so much time alone, and all I could do was create and pretend that the other person was sitting. I had to pretend you were there. I didn't have, you know what I mean? So that's me. That's what I do, and it's in me. Like, I grew up like that, but I just hit my glass ceiling, I think. Lifting rooms and being the life of the party is like, where is your life?
No. Let's acknowledge that Taraji P. Henson is not your average Black woman. But somehow she transformed herself into your average Black woman. What do I mean by that? Taraji is 52 years old, exceptionally beautiful. Shoot, was a word with Taraji. Professionally successful, rich, well connected, all those things. So why does she seem to be living such a miserable and unhappy life? I'll tell you why, folks. I'll tell you why. Shoot. Matter of fact, they think this is a good time for me to pause and ask someone in the chat. If you want to hear why she's so unhappy and all that, you put a one in the chat there for me. And I'll tell you why it is. This is the Senate Podcast, episode 188. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share button. Hit the notification bell to ensure that you don't miss any things that we bring it for you. We come and have these discussions, right? But yeah, why is Taraji, all her accolades and everything, living a miserable and unhappy life? Well, it's simple. She's unfulfilled. Something is missing. What's that? She's missing the fulfillment of being under the covering of a man or a husband, and all that comes with it. Those 4 P's. Those 4 P's. Right? What did the girl from the screenshot say? The screenshot lady. What did she say? Society keeps telling women to love themselves as if self-love will ever replace the desire for romantic love. Yeah? You hear that all the time. They also tell us to be strong and we don't need no man to define us, as if admitting you want to be loved makes you weaker than pretending you don't care. So many women buy into that. So many women buy into this. I don't need no man. I got my job. I got my money. I got a car, house, whatever. I don't need anything else. Then to discover when you hit, as the girl says, she gets 40, but she can't. And all it cracked up to be. Yeah. Taraji fell for the okie doke like so many other women, but the feminism in her won't let her admit out loud and directly why she's unhappy. But let women talk long enough, they will tell on themselves, right? So what did she say instead? What did she do? Because she didn't come on and say, well, yeah, I would like a partner, I would like a relationship. She didn't say that. What did she say instead? I go home in the shadows and in the 4 corners of my room, who's there to lift me up? Who gonna be there? If you come home to your house, who you expect to be there? Your partner, ain't it? So we could, unless you want a husband or a husband's son. So we know from that very statement that she craves a loving, stable relationship. Late last year, yeah, I'm gonna wrap up here shortly, right? Late last year, Brittany Renner was on the Just Pretty Things podcast with Andrew Tate. And she asked him a very interesting question. He gave a long-winded response. I have a response of my own. So we're gonna play the question she asked. Then we can come back and I'll answer it for her and for you guys.
You've been through a lot. I've been through a lot. I'm seen as used goods. You're seen as a high value man.
Yeah.
So if you're me, then what?
Yeah, what, Derek?
Then what? Brittany Renner and women with a similar thought process are all wondering what is the answer to this particular question. Because the presupposition is that something is supposed to happen. Unfortunately, ladies, nothing is supposed to happen. Nobody is supposed to come along and rescue you from your loneliness. Unfortunately and sadly, many women just drift into what Kevin Samuels used to call no man's land. And think about it, folks. Think about it. Really think about it. How many older women do we all know who have been single now for years? Some over a decade, some longer than that. Yeah. Ladies and gents, nothing is guaranteed to happen. And that is what Taraji, Lala Anthony, the 39-year-old like top of the show crying in her car, the lady from the screenshots, and countless other women are discovering in very real time. Tia Mowry, you're on the clock.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are indeed watching the Senate podcast. Please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything, and let's build this community. Now, let me start from the bottom and come forward. That Brittany Renner clip is interesting because Renner, shout you out, man. Shout out all the people that came in. Ruben, a lot of people came in while we were speaking. Thank you. Give us some likes. People like the content so we could get these numbers up. We are 18 people watching. We got 10 likes. Make it make sense. I hate to use that saying, but that's what drop out my mouth. Anyhow, the thing with Brittany Renner and that clip, that clip went on to Andrew Tate in that statement went on to say, you know, she's been through a lot, he's been through a lot. Why he is lifted up and she is treated like a second-class citizen. Andrew Tate goes on to say that, you know, women and society, by extension, love men that have been through stuff. Chicks dig scars. They like a success story. They like an underdog story. They like a man to come up and, you know, be the victim.
Struggle.
Right. Nobody don't want to see chicks with scars. Nobody don't want to hear or see a woman having struggled in her life because, you know, that ain't sexy, that ain't pretty. That's not, a woman should not have to struggle or have to go through things, if you understand what he's saying. So just to give a little context with that. Anyhow, this whole situation of sticking up for what you want, right? I can tell you straight, I was a man that I used to like certain things on a woman, right? Or rather, I did not like certain things on a woman, particularly like tattoos and piercings and stuff like that. And I think that severely limited the opportunities I had to date, right? And I think that you can want what you want now. You can want what you want, right? But you are not owed what you want, one. And two, you are not owed the consequences of sticking up for what you want and it not coming to fruition, right? So, like, I understand a lot of women out there believe the woman with the short hair versus the long hair, right? Where she was saying something along the lines that you may have a good man, you may have a good person, but you just don't gel and just don't click, right? And you know what, Derek, to some degree, I agree. Because if you have a partner or you are talking to someone, dating someone, etc., and that person is good on paper, but you are not gelling with that person, then, you know, one can say it can never work. But please understand that I personally believe there is something to be said for looking a gift horse in the mouth. There is something to be said for letting good people pass. Because ultimately you hear women say the spiel, where all the good men gone. I can't find a good man. The men that you are clicking or gelling with, they turn out to do reprehensible things, and all of a sudden, no, men ain't shit, where all the good men gone. So you gotta kind of pick your battles. You got, as a friend of mine to say, choose the hill you want to die on. Right? Do you want to keep on having good men in your life and letting them go because of one or two small things? Like, for example, the woman with the buying, she was saying the man was good, bet good money, this, that, next, the third, fourth. And she even went as far as to accept the man's proposal in marriage. But then she decided, nah, it's too big for me. Ayo. Right? So that means that something in that man was good enough to accept something clicked in that man to say yes to the ring. But somehow her emotions got in the way and she decided to get rid of that man. I think at some point, right? Yeah, you may be young, you may look good, everything might be right and tight, you might got it, right? And yeah, you literally have the pick of the litter. You can literally decide what men you want to entertain because your DMs, your contact list, whatever is flooded with offers, with men wanting to take you, etc. You can literally decide to curate that list because you are pretty enough that the selection, the options there are so wide and varied that you can actually do your selection process, right? But I want you to consider a few things. One, you're going to be right and tight forever. And as much as a lot of women do not like to accept it, and a lot of people don't want to accept it, you do have a dating market value. A dating market value does not speak to your value as a human being. It speaks to your value as a partner in the dating market. So as you get older, you might still look good. Black no crap, you look good. You know, right and tight, everything like that. You see some 50-year-olds that got it. Right? But then when you see a man...
Taraji's 50.
Hey, man. But then when you want a man that want to create his legacy, because there's something to be said, a man wants to create his legacy. A man wants to build his family, and a man wants to have his children. He wants to have his family unit intact, and he wants to be able to show off that family. When I say show off that family, in that is a huge component for his success as a man, right? Yes, men value money, men value their purpose, etc. But being a father and being a provider for his family is also wrapped up in his purpose. Right? So a man, he might not be out there putting it on Instagram, he might not be showing off whatever, but the man is at peace to know that he has a woman at home that loves him, takes care of him, and that he takes care of her, and they both are raising a family and a legacy to pass on to the next generation, because that is what humanity is about, in my opinion. That is why we procreate. That is what we are as a species. It's about carrying on legacy and information for the next generation, right? A generation, we always getting better. There's a point in time we didn't have indoor plumbing, and we used to start war every 2 minutes, and we used to dead. I think the to be an old man was to be 40. when you reach 40, you reach me at their age, we bedridden. You understand? No, we live until 80, 100, that sort of stuff, because of the advances of the legacy and information passed on generation to generation. Right? Einstein would have come up with a theory of relativity in the early 1900s. One day, I have no doubt that we will be able to do wondrous things in terms of relativity and time and space and that sort of stuff, because that information, and people continue to work at it, and so on and so forth, as the generations and the millennia and the decades and centuries pass. Right? So that's what I believe a man really wants. A man wants legacy. A man that, well, not really wants, but that's part of what he wants. That's part of his purpose. So you getting older and your market value has dropped as a woman, dating market value has dropped. Yeah, you look like Tia Mowry, but A, you might got your children already, or B, you ain't got your children at all. You understand? All of a sudden now, men looking at you say, they're like, I know if I want to take on this woman that can't give me a children, and not looking to, because now you're wrapped up in the modern woman way of thinking. Now all of a sudden, I don't know if I want to take it, she only gonna let me provide for her, problem solve for her, etc. You know what I'm saying? You get a conflicting stories in that she wants it to be a 50-50 partnership, in that she believes that we should all do 50-50 of the housework. We should do 50-50 of the laundry, 50-50 of all the chores, the groceries, everything, rearing the children, everything like that. But it's you outing all the money. It's you spending all the money. You understand? Or the majority of the money. So the man is the man confused. It's 50-50, but I carry you on dates all the time, or I booking the trips and we going out, and you know, you comparing me to other men in your friend circle from other women and stuff like that. So the consequences is that you will be alone. You will be alone. And loneliness hits different for a man than it does for a woman. Why? Because men are filled with purpose. Men can channel that into things that are practical. Men are good alone. Shoot, society. 1 in 3 men have not had sex in the last 3 years. It's 3 or 5 years, or have been single for the last 3 or 5 years. Right? They got the statistics are whatever metric you use, wherever you get your data from. Men accustomed being alone. The average man accustomed being alone.
Yep.
That's just what it is. But when you are born with value, when you're born with a level of catering to, as soon as a woman is born, she has immediate value. However you want to place that value, she has immediate value. And she is catered to and essentially coddled and told that she has that value. And as she gets older, you know, unfortunate to say, that value will be diminished. But men may have to earn their value. When men earn their value, sometimes we just go it alone. You think, you know, a lot of people look at me and say, "Cheese boy, you must see was a real ladies man back in the day." It was real rough goings at secondary school. It was rough goings at BCC. It was rough goings at UB. Right? So that's what it is. Please understand that you have to decide. That's why on Tuesday we spoke, and I really enjoyed the conversation we had on Tuesday, because it comes down to, I think it comes down to a few things. One, I think women and people at large need to be honest with themselves. What do you want from this life when it comes to relationships and a partnership? Do you want marriage? Do you want a committed relationship? You just want to have fun and put your legs in the air? What do you want? Because nobody is faulting what you want, you know. If you come to the dating marketplace and say, look, I just looking to have fun, I cares nothing about body count, I care about being about your wife, I care about nothing, so I just want to be out here with my tongue out, my booty shaking. And that's fine.
That's fine.
That is fine. Live that life.
But you got to see it through.
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 Continue doing that at 60 and 70.
Right. I understand. I know y'all might say, yeah, I could. Because a lot of people won't ride that train until it come to them stop and then could choose to then be a wife. Right? I don't know, Derek, man. You know why this is fascinating? Because women think that they can choose to be in a relationship. Women think that they can choose to be married. But they expect men to choose them to be married, to pick them to be in a relationship. You see the conflict there?
Mm-hmm.
You saying to yourself, I got it, I good. Whenever I feel like stopping the hot girl summer, I can live wifey winter. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You're done with hot girl summer, you live in wifey winter. Right? But then you can't figure out why nobody ain't choosing you, or when you're not getting marriageable men, or you're not being chosen to be married. Because you accept a marriage proposal, but nobody know you can't manufacture a marriage proposal.
Mm-hmm.
So women flat out said they are not proposing to men. Women would prefer strongly prefer a man to propose to them. That's why I say y'all got to align with what you want. If you want a husband, what are you doing to become a husband? Where are you getting your information to be a wife? How are you becoming a wife? Right? We men need to learn to be husbands. We men need to learn to be providers and be that with which we want, because things kind of off the rails now with the advent of the adjustment to feminism and the adjustment to social media and technology and everything. I think men are a little weird in that. We out here living the fuckboy life too. We out here living, city boys. City boys.
The benefit of feminism, but it only benefits the top guys. Yeah, because now it open up everything. shoot. Like, oh, the women kind of me, well, all right, it could work now.
Yeah.
So
So
Cherish saying we have to be wise before we get married. Yeah, that's how it goes.
That's how it goes, because this is so nuanced, right? And it can still sound like a rambling, but you want a man, but you're not willing to listen to men for what they want. You want to be someone's wife, but you're not willing to listen to the people that will make you a wife, to see what they want. Yeah, there are certain nuances that may change from man to man, but overall, men want certain things. I mean, we don't think it is complicated. You understand? So you want to be a wife. You want sorry. You want a husband, but you don't know how to be a wife, nor do you want to be a wife. You want to be able to double dutch into hot girl summer, wife winter, wifey winter. You want to be able to double dutch, step in and step out when you feel like, right? But your husband must remain resolute and he must remain consistent. It does not make sense. So align with what you want. You want a husband? You want to be married? What are you doing to become a wife? Do you know how to be a wife? Are people in your circle wives? Because let's be honest, being in a marriage, being in a committed relationship, long-lasting relationship is hard bloody work. And for everybody, men and women. Shoot, some men realizing that it might be too big for them. And the point is, that is all right. If you're not married, that doesn't mean you're a failure. If you don't have a successful relationship, it doesn't mean it's a failure. There will be something lacking in your life, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're a failure as a human being. Let's be very clear. But you cannot say, I want to be a wife, or where the good men gone, or I am not being chosen. But when you look at your track record, you are not being submissive. You're not being feminine. You are not allowing a man to be in his masculine. So how you expect it to work? You got this mentality that is a 50-50 thing, but when the man bringing 50-50, when it comes to finances and it comes to certain roles, he doing the majority of the land share the work. And you vex when you got to do the land share the work of your femininity. Are you here changing diapers? How many diapers you choose? Like it was Tuesday we had Michelle Obama saying there was a stretch where she hated her husband she didn't like her husband for about 10 years, and she started to compare how many diapers she changed versus her husband.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So then no, she wanted that man to be successful. She wanted that man to reach the heights. Maybe she didn't think it was president, but she wanted the man to continue to aspire to be the highest he can be in American politics. Right? So the man was probably working out late. The man was probably playing golf to de-stress. The man was doing what he had to do to make it. But she was vexed because she wasn't chasing as much diapers as she was. He wasn't taking care of children as much as she was. But that's the conflict. That's the conflict. You want a man with purpose. You want a man with money. You want a man with certain things. How many times there in this space we hear women want men with 5 and 6 figures? When here comes 7 figures.
I've never heard 5. So
well, true. You're right.
I've never heard 5.
You're right.
So
6 and 7 figures. Women want men with 6 and 7 figures. But those women also want those men to be attentive, to be present, and to take them all over the world. Unless you are dating Future or you dating some rapper or something like that, the man ain't got time to be lavishing you in gifts and carrying you all over the place and sitting down and watching Netflix and chill with you every night. You cannot want a best friend in the true traditional sense of the word, where your two souls meet and intertwined, and every night you feel like spending time together and your quality time must be 4 and 5 times a week, and that man be a millionaire. It don't, unless the man born into money, it don't work so. So please understand, ladies. Please understand. You have to align with what you want. You want to be a wife? What are you doing to be a wife? I realized over the weekend, you know what I mean? I want to be a husband, but what am I doing to become a husband? What am I doing to become that? Shoot, am I even capable of being a husband? Am I ready to be a husband? Right? Those are questions I'm asking myself, because in listening to my brother got married. I listened to him in his speech and in private conversations and stuff like that. He knew within himself what he was ready for. He knew within himself his qualities as a man and as a husband that he could provide to his wife. You understand? He had a confidence and a surety within himself where he aligned with that and he moved to suit with that. Shoot, his trajectory in the last 4 or 5 years, in the last 3 years, took him to where he is now. My mom wanted to be in New York. My mom wanted to be with that woman. My mom he wanted that life, and he set up his life for that for years. We had a bachelor event here before he went overseas, and again, we are very vanilla men. We didn't strip club men and hookers men. We went on a bus crawl with men, and we had a conversation. We had conversations. Married men, men that are young men that are married, men are in successful relationships, etc. We all got together. Yeah, drinks were involved, and we went bar hopping, but we had conversations throughout the day about what it means to be married. And my input was welcome too, as a man that has had failed relationships right through, because I have learned from my mistakes. And yes, there's a bit of regret in a lot of things, but by the same token, that is what it takes. Doves just fly with doves. We always joke on this podcast. Really what it means is that you will only learn from those that you want to be. You want to be a wife with the wives in your group. Who in your family, who in your circle of people got successful marriages? You talking to your mother that married? You talking to your aunt that married? Are you listening and learning from your aunt that is not married? And to hear her talk about men? Your friends, you hear how them talking about men? Do you hear how people speak about men, good or bad? Do you see how they treat men, good or bad? Do you learn from that? Or you just got this thing like, I am who I am, take me as I am, flaws and all? You have to be intentional with what you want. You have to align with that. In 2023, I can assure you that marriage is not what it was 50 to 60 years ago. Right? The values, the morals, the thinking, the lifestyle, everything in this society has changed, and it is very difficult for successful marriages to work out. Right? So it is understandable if you say, child boy, it says marriage ain't too big for me, I don't want to get married. That's all right. But don't be saying, I want to be married, I want to be chosen, I want to be someone's wife, and you out here wanting to have things your way. Because what's the first thing you hear about marriage, Derek? That marriage is about compromise. You got to compromise. And people don't like the word compromise, because compromise, you're in a compromising position. That sounds very negative. You're putting yourself at risk. You're putting yourself out there to be potentially taken advantage of. But let's use a different word then. Let's say you have to give in order to receive. You have to be that you want to be. You understand? So if you want to be a wife, who are you doing to be a wife? Who are you doing to be a wife? Shoot, you ask me what you're doing to be a husband? I got to be more intentional about that. I got to be more mindful. I got to be more thoughtful. And it's something I brought up in therapy yesterday. I had therapy yesterday, I brought it up. Because certain things is like, you just know things, but you just got to see things in practice. In certain circles for you to realize, I get it. It took my little brother, he's always been my little brother, 10 years younger than me. It took my little brother standing up and being a husband to a woman and seeing the trajectory of the last 3-4 years of him coming to this path that he wanted. And realizing that, all right, I could learn something from him. I could learn something from that person. I'm out as knowing he 30s, early 30s. I could learn from him.
But as I said earlier, Neil, you know, that's a challenge, and it's not just a challenge for women, it's a challenge for men.
It's a challenge for men.
We do not have any examples of positive relationships between men and women. We just don't. So we don't have anything to model. We don't see it in popular media. We don't see it in social media, mainstream media. We just don't see it. So like, if I asked you, for example, we had the Cosby Show back in the day, right? And everybody could look and say, well, all right. Or even the Jeffersons, for example, right? Because you got the Cosby Show, doctor,
lawyer.
Really, I think she was a Felicia Rashad's a lawyer, right?
Lawyer, yeah.
Right, so a very upstanding couple, and they're living in New York, raising the family and stuff like that, pushing through together, living together. Then you got the Jeffersons, where Jeffersons, you know,
come into some money,
come into some hard money through hard work and graft, and then you know they move on up to the east side, right? A blue collar guy, put in the work, bring along your wife, right? and as a couple, and they go through life challenges together.
Family matters too.
Yeah, family matters. For example, again, blue collar guy. Well, yeah, you could call it blue collar. Policeman working, raising the family. We don't see that now. We see real, what is real?
Also, Atlanta, Potomac, and all sorts of foolishness.
Trinidad, Barbados. Okay, you know what I mean? That's what we see now. Those are the examples of what we see. And so when we see relationships between black women and black men, the quarreling, the fighting, this boy cheating, but this body, that kind of thing. And if that's what you're fed,
that's what you're gonna. That's what we're gonna say.
That only thing you can poop.
Exactly, but here's you raise an excellent point, because watch, my brother and I, you know, I can't say we have seen many positive examples of successful relationships. We haven't seen many successful relationships. Our parents are divorced. You know, friends. Well, yeah. I guess the best way to say it is that just what you said, to hit all you said, you have to eat. Whatever you eat is what you're gonna poop out. My brother don't watch none of them things. My brother is a very practical person. My brother is a very logical person. He's a man filled with conviction. And when he makes a decision, he moves. So he has friends that are married, close friends that are married, just like me. You understand me? And the influences and people he has around him and the things that he surrounds he might just figure it out. You understand what I mean? So I can't even say that it is, because there's no excuse, you know. There really is no excuse. Like, a lot of people will say things like, I don't have positive examples of relationships around me. My parents were this. I was raised by my mother alone. You know what I mean? Like, you would hear a whole thing. And yes, those are challenges, right? But that does not mean that has to be your end and net result.
Yeah.
Once you understand who you want to be and what you want to be and where you need to get to or want to get to, you have to do that work on yourself. Right? I ain't gonna lie to y'all, it's a bit of luck too. Don't let me talk about it. In 2023, sometimes it's just dropping your lap. You understand? For others, you gotta do hard work on yourself. You have to be vigilant and dedicated to your diet, both mentally, spiritually, and physically, that you receive.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, you cannot be out here saying you want to be some boy husband and some boy wife, and out here not doing the things that a husband or a wife would do.
Yeah, man.
And vex that you ain't getting chosen. Like, who I could get vexed that I ain't married yet? Who I could be vexed with that? Who I could be vexed with that I ain't married yet? I can't vex at nobody but myself. Failed relationships.
As you say, you got to do that work.
Got to do that work.
And you got to recognize when you got to.
Right. And if you don't want to do the work, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You got to understand what I'm saying. If you don't want to do the work, if you don't want to be that is fine. But do not be out here fooling yourself that you want to be something that you don't truly want to work toward, because it ain't dropping in your lap. A man ain't flying in. A 6'3" chiseled up millionaire is not flying in. I'm going to look upon you and say, is you that I want? And that man ain't going to pick you up. And that man is going to lavish you and gifts. You all will fly the world. And when you have children, the nanny going to raise them. You ain't going to ever go in the kitchen. You ain't going to ever go get this man sex. You ain't going to do nothing but look pretty. Shoot, you never got to do that. The man will love you if you put on 20 pounds.
Yeah, just turn it.
It don't work so. It does. And I don't understand, right? What's frustrating me a bit is that people want men, but not listening to men. They don't even care about men. However, men are supposed to listen to women. Men are supposed to sit down and be quiet and pay attention to what women want and what women need and what women are going through. So if we want a wife, we have to listen to what women want. Women want emotional. And the thing about it is, because round and round it goes. It's like the snake, the head of the snake eating the tail of the snake. Because you want men to be more emotionally available. You want men to be less aggressive. You want men to be more in tune with their spirituality and emotions. You want men to be more mindful. You want men to be more docile. But you ain't choosing them men. You don't want them men.
We see one.
So it's like you in a house and you get up on the front road and hollering hard. Oh, you don't want nobody to come in my house. You want to come in my house? You gotta ring the doorbell. I don't want nobody coming in my house. And then you go in your house and leave the door open and wandering in the kitchen. When nobody ain't coming in your house? How can nobody come in your house? It's conflicting. It's conflicting. You don't want men to be men. And let us be clear, because I know the rhetoric. Oh, but men being men, y'all men just do X, Y, the grape, the essay, the looking at corn, the all of these things. Y'all's wrap up around masculinity and what a man is. That's the thing, you know. The small minority, the fraction of men that do reprehensible, terrible things represent what masculinity is.
Mm-hmm.
And we are all judged by that. Therefore, they don't want men to be that. So they want us to tone down all of who we are. Right? But when we do that now, it's like, for example, how many times you hear that men don't approach me? I look at the thing, you know how many times they go on and men don't approach me? Shoot, men don't ask me on dates. Men don't take
That's
the
the thing,
initiative.
no.
You understand?
But we expect, as you say, you've told the men not to approach. So
You told men not to approach. So what you have to know what you want. You have to be aligned with what you want. You have to be intent with what you want. Do you want a man? A man that is gonna, babe, get ready at 8 o'clock, wear that tight red dress and come. We gonna go get something to eat and it's beer stick when they get home.
But we saw the response. It was a hilarious response to that. But we know.
Yeah.
You really want.
But
see, my way in the house, I Jason.
Yeah, shut up, waiting on Jason. But do you want that? Because women would say they want a man to be a leader. A man to say, baby, don't worry about nothing. Get ready at 8 o'clock, pack your bags, and just turn up. You want that at the beginning. But when it comes to, babe, can you make a sandwich, please? Just make a sandwich. Or you wouldn't mind cooking is a problem.
But that's the problem, Neil. I think that's it's the crux of the matter, you know. The whole gender roles thing. Women do not want to be perceived as, you know, just here to cook and clean.
Subservient.
Right? And subservient.
They want to be like Oprah Winfrey to Mr.
Yeah. No, Whoopi. No, nobody wants. Women don't want that, right? You got to fulfill all of your roles, right? That's mine.
And you can't waffle. You gotta be consistent too.
Yeah. Women get to, you know, pick and choose, and you as a man have to accept that, right? We as men have to accept that, because to say, well, I really and truly don't want you to do that. I want you to cook for me. That's misogynistic. You can't say that, right? And that is the hugest problem that we have right now. Women get to choose if to be a traditional woman or not. Men kind of have to be the traditional man right through.
Right.
Even though they say that they don't want the traditional man.
Right. And women want traditional men. And let me even take it a step further. If I was a billionaire with a B and I just got it, whether I earned this money through my own work or if it was passed down to me from generation, it is still a problem if I choose a modern woman and say, they want me to say, babe, don't cook, don't clean, don't do nothing in the house. You good, you straight, right? I can take care of you, right? You ain't gotta live a thing. You ain't gotta work a day in your life. But as I say, much, baby, been a little 2 weeks, I could get a little sex. Or, you know, it would really mean a lot if you could bake a cake for me or something, or cook something for me, or you could press my clothes there for me. That is a problem. Don't mind that I have said to you, this is what I'm going to do for you. And I'm not saying that because I have paid for you, that you have to do those things. That is not what I'm saying. But Kadir, it would be nice, or consider it. Ain't like I telling you, I ain't got you in a sweatshop telling you press all of my clothes. And all left in here till all these in here press. And I can hear saying, look, when they come home, food bed between table or else, or I can pull away money or anything like that. No. And that is the problem. Y'all want, but what are you going to do for it? And a lot of y'all have the belief that y'all all are the table, that y'all are the relationship, and y'all don't need to do anything but turn up and look good. Shoot, matter of fact, looking good is optional, because once you got the mind, one can decide to let go, and that's that. So y'all just got to be there.
But you see, we've seen enough evidence tonight of how it ends. If you choose that you don't want to, because really and truly what's happening is that these women have chosen not to be competitive, right? The lady at the top of the show that said she was 30, 39, etc. She's chosen not to become, chosen might be a harsh word, but I guess whether she knows or not, she's chosen to not be competitive. Taraji chose to not be competitive. Anthony was competitive and decided, hey, it's done competing, let me go in these streets. She chose not to be competitive. The girl with the screenshots, whether they know it or not, they're choosing not to compete. How are they choosing that? Because I'm going to use this reference in a while, so let me use it now. I decide, you know what, I want to sell pork chops. And I go down in Temple Yard with the Rasta man to sell pork chops. And then I vex because I can't get the sales.
But nobody ain't buying that as a black man.
Yeah, you're going to support the black man, right? But I am not providing those men what is their want.
And this after doing market research with him and listening to the Rasta man say, we like,
no, I ain't listening to the Rasta man.
But hold on.
Wait, hold tight. I go down there and make pork chops. One day the man said, man, bad man, Rasta man eat that.
Yeah.
All right, it come by next day, same pork chops. Man say, you go any eat it now. So by the time third, fourth day, the man see me coming with my van full of pork chops. But the next thing man I can do is race me from about there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because I have decided, because you can't say may have said. May have said you don't like certain things. Yet still with me say, well, I know you say you like this, but this is what you think you should like. And they present it. Man say, all right, if that's what you think you can like, again, vote on my feet and choose somebody else. And that's what's happening with a lot of ladies now.
All right. And this last point, I agree with that. And this is the last point I can make here, right? Now, ladies, this is going to be a rough part of the conversation for y'all, right? I know feminism and I know the whole men asking women to be in relationships and to marry has given you this false perspective that you are the prize alone. You are not. Men are also the prize as well. Because the man is choosing you. The man ain't asking you. Yeah, he forming it in a question only because he in a cave, man, he can't hit over the head and just drag you to a cave. That's assault, right? Kidnapping, that's many things, right? But the man asks you only because it is what he would like. He has chosen you, and you have to accept his choice in you, right? If you say yes to this man, you have agreed to be this man's wife. You have agreed to be covered by this man, and this man covered by you. Therefore, if you want to be chosen, you have to compete. Because the men you want, and we know the list when I want the man, when I want the 6, 7, 8.
Big Angela, man.
Shut up, Angela. You want the 6, 7, 8. You want 6 feet, 7 figures, and 8 inches of wood. That's what you want. Guess what, ladies? Other women want that too. If you were to take 100 women, I ask them what preferences would they want in a man. How many times we got showing women that say we want a man 6 foot with 7 figures or 6 figures and enough wood? Women exclusively want that. You think it's only you that want that, man? And we've also shown you the data that there ain't many of them men walking about. So they got a little bit of men. Enough of wouldn't want them men. Them men in demand. So it would spark to reason that those men are the prize, and you have to compete for that prize. I ain't talking about the average man, because to the average,
they don't want us,
right? They don't want us because to me, I believe as average people, men and women, we are both the prize, and we both need to recognize that and submit to that and to acquiesce to each other so that we can make it work. But we don't really want 1% and 2% men. We don't want the highest of the heights. And when they just turn it up, that is like you wake up a day, you run a race there, so you're pretty good at track. And you say, I get in the Olympics.
The Olympics time.
I just turn up. You ain't do no work. You ain't train. You don't do nothing. And in one blocks, you got the woman with the American name, Richardson, what's her name?
Sha'Carri.
Sha'Carri. You got Sha'Carri in one lane. You got the Jamaicans in lane 3 and 4. You got the Flo Jo. You got all these women in thing, and you in the blocks there, so ain't do a liquor training last year. But these women working like horses, and then vex when you come dead last, when you are not chosen for the podium, you upset. You upset at the Olympic Committee because you ain't get chosen. You weren't chosen. You vex, and you calling the women that are on the podium as pick-me's and try-hards.
They try-hards.
I never understood that mentality. I remember Call of Duty. We used to play Call of Duty or even basketball, anything. A man said, slow down, man. It's only an average game. You trying hard. So I want to win. So if I want to win, should I try hard? I can't get phantom, as you would say.
Can't phantom it. Tango Fox here saying average people need to hang around other average people and stop daydreaming about these 1% people and 9s and 10s. Amen.
Hallelujah.
The delusion's real, says Jason. Leave them to their own dreams. It's all they've got left. RSPCA always got fur babies, ladies. Wow.
I see. One thing that's been happening now is men asking ladies when they come in with certain rhetoric and the realities they're coming from and say, let me ask you a question. Cats or dogs?
Yeah, rough.
Cats are dogs, man. We gonna die with.
You see my man Tango Fox saying marriage is work and compromise, and it consists of duty, obligation, and love. Love sees duty as necessary. Renrick, unfortunately, many have not grown up with fathers. Sadly, the result is a lack of direction and it's a true understanding of life. Knowing oneself comes from a direction. Fathers give that direction.
Hold on a minute, Derek. I want to tackle that. I don't necessarily agree. Because when you were born, you didn't grow up, you didn't say, I want to be, let's say, a plumber. You didn't grow up saying, I want to be a plumber. I ain't got good directions for plumbers around me. You ain't grow up to say, I want to be a policeman. I ain't got good examples of policemen around me. You ain't grow up to say, I want to be an economist. Derek, you see you want to be a teacher. You ain't like you grow up saying, well, nobody in my family is teachers. How will I become a teacher? You found the avenues to learn to be a teacher. You find the avenues, you apprentice for somebody to be a plumber. You learn these things. You understand?
Yeah,
you learn these things.
But I can't completely disagree because as he's saying, fathers give direction, and that's critical.
Wait. Read that last comment.
Yeah, he's saying knowing oneself comes from a direction.
No. Per letter. Read per letter. Per letter ain't come true. If it ain't come true, you can read it. So if the woman is the prize, what is the man? Only the man benefits in the marriage.
Well, they didn't even have to say that. If the woman is the prize, what is the man?
Only the man benefits in the marriage?
Well, I'll say this in response to that. Invariably, you know what? I got a video for this. I will this guy kind of puts it best because we've seen this argument before. Women do not benefit in marriage, but the reality is more because women marry up more often than not. Women are actually the ones who end up benefiting most from a marriage, and then even more from the dissolution of said marriage. So you go to the marriage and you got to see we didn't say there's nothing for men in marriage. Because you as a man gotta be the person generally to say, well, yeah, let me put up my wife in X place. And I will address this on Tuesday. When you go to relate, does a man make enough for himself? More than likely. Does he make enough for himself and a wife? You gotta find a way to make it. Yeah. Only it was just there and it gone. But yeah, Lee is saying disagree. There's many benefits to the wife. Yeah. And if a woman could cheat on her husband, they turn around or file for divorce.
A woman can run a train on her with her co-workers on her husband, and the husband, you better take she back.
Can't really afford. That's what this saying is. It's cheaper to keep her, right? And should have had a whole song with that. But you know, in terms of let me deal with the marriage situation. In a marriage situation, for example, and this is a real obscure example, right? And again, and this is a personal example as well. Now, you would know I have not had any hair on my head since I was 16 years old, right? Cut my hair for my 16th birthday. But I used to sweep out here almost on a daily basis, right? Because, you know, wife had hair. And if she ain't sweep it, somebody got to sweep it. I don't want to walk through here. It's a pretty uncomfortable feeling. So I sweep it up. You know what I mean? For a letter saying
it was a question. Okay, I understand now. I understand.
So if a man wants is a praise, what does it want, man? What do the man benefits in the marriage? No.
Okay.
Both persons need.
Sorry, punctuation is important.
Both persons need and want something from each other, so no one is praise.
All right, I'll be on the same page now.
I would argue, related that the man is indeed the praise, because we all know that, you know, women don't want to broke man. So a man has to actually bring something to the relationship. But I ain't gonna split hairs about that, because at the end of the day, you know, we've grown up thinking that the woman is the praise. True. The girl named Lori Harvey went on the thing there the other day and said that she's the praise. You know?
And
so I don't want to split hairs on that.
Everybody's had the praise.
Right? But the reality is a man has to bring something to the relationship to even be, for his proposal to be even considered for acceptance. Right? A woman could literally, depend on how good she looked, and say, yeah, you're pretty. You know? That's so there are benefits to both people, but I'll say this: most of the millionaire, the female millionaires have obtained their wealth by divorce. Just say if you want to talk about, you know, price and all that. But Neil, we got our video. If you could run that there, so the time it kind of explains the situation. I talk about it often with the social contract.
All right, let me get it.
Tells you about marriage, the brutal truth. A man offers provisions and protection from the moment he says, I do. This is his duty, and he does not deviate, deprive, or withhold it from his partner. It is consistent. A woman offers beauty, loyalty, and sexual exclusivity from the moment she says, I do. This is her duty, and she will deviate from it from time to time, regardless of a man's consistency. Every month, a man pays bills. He does not take a break. Every month, a woman cooks and cleans. She will take breaks. Every day, a man secures his home. He does not take a break. Every day, a woman maintains beauty and health. She will take a break. When a wife turns sex into privilege and withholds it, he does not take a break. When a woman lets herself go and become lazy, he does not take a break. When a woman goes into menopause and no longer wishes to sexually please her man, he does not take a break. When a wife and husband argue and fight and separate, they both may cheat. He does not take a break. A woman completely shuts off access from the time of separation up until divorce. If a man take a break, all will perish. If a man isn't consistent, all will fail. So let's stop questioning men who exercise their options.
No, that is a conversation to tackle for another time, because I would like to tackle the option part. But that man spitting facts from the standpoint. We say it all the time. Derek says it probably more than anybody else that I know. We are expected. Shoot, it is expected for men to always do what they have to do. What they say they can do, what they answer they can do, whatever it is. As a man, we have to. We cannot shirk. We cannot disappear. We cannot say, nah, not today. I'm paying the course bill today. A man breaking the house.
Course is call you before. Course is call you before you get paid. They make sure you get paid them. So you get paid?
Exactly. And I ain't protecting the house of my breaking. We get breaking every few months. I feel like tired of these, man. Like that we want, man. Like, we start with 50-50. I know, I think we say a lot of things, or there are a lot of ideas floating around, and they sound good. I want a 50-50 partnership. Yeah, we ain't living in here, but we self. So we want this man to clean in here too. We want a man to this, that, the next, to the third. He's to raise babies too. He's to do this and do that. Right? So they might got to do 50% of your work and 100% of his. So other 200%, he doing 150, you doing 50. Yeah, we can't take breaks and y'all could take breaks. Now, we always say that life ain't fair. We always say that there are different dynamics for men and women. But please understand that when the scale is so topsy-turvy or so imbalanced, something is going to give. Whether it be the man cheating, whether it be the man pulling away, whether the man saying, see me, I can just withdraw from you, etc. A man will withdraw but not divorce. A man will withdraw, the man will get in his garage and think of it saying, the man will go and watch football and he might care, the man will get his bar with the boys. But he will not divorce you. He will not leave you. Men that leave are that is not the rule. That is the exception. So, I think there are a lot of things being said and ideas that are out there, but they're all exclusive to each other. And they're not tied together in a critical way to make sense of all of these statements, because a lot of things are true at the same time, but they are all so nuanced that they're not being tied together. So I want a partner that's 50-50. That's what I want. I want a man that we can split the bills and split the work, even split down the middle. But he can't take a break in none of his responsibilities. I could take a break now and then because of hormones, because of children, because of tired, etc. A man is not allowed to get tired. A man is not allowed to be frustrated. A man is to be the anchor. He's supposed to be the emotional ground, so to speak, of any relationship or interaction. Women are expected to waffle, the dipsy doodle. So then, if that's the case, and women could be inconsistent, and men thrive on consistency and logic, what's the sense? I'm just saying, people you want here, you want a husband, be a wife. You want to be a husband, you want a wife, be a husband. You want a family, you gotta do what you gotta do to become a mother, a father, to create that stability. There are statistics that show that children raised in single households are less likely to succeed and be functioning whole adults than people raised in two-parent households. So I don't know, man. I just feel like we lost the plot. I feel like we living for we say we want things, but we're not living as if we want it. And then vex when we're not getting the outcomes we want, because that's what we want. It's like, I want to be president of the United States, but I ain't doing the work to become president of the United States. But why ain't president of the United States? That's entitlement and lack of accountability.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Folks, it's 9:40 in Barbados, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean. We thank you so much for tuning into episode 188 of the Senate Podcast live stream here on YouTube. We got 468 subscribers. So if any of you are unsubscribed at this juncture, please hit the subscription bell. Also hit the notification bell to ensure that you don't miss the stuff we got going on, because I know a couple of you have not hit that notification bell and then you kind of missed out. I know you gotta go and rewatch all this stuff from before. So hit the notification bell as well. Hit the like button. Share the content. Get some people in the discussion. Have the discussions in your workplaces and stuff like that. You know, get the discussions going so we can kind of start to bridge the divide, so we can get a better understanding of how men process these things. Because, you know, it's important that we hear both sides so that everybody knows what the other person wants. Folks, you know, shoot. The end that we don't make the rules, you just make sure you know what they are. Yeah, you can ignore reality all you want, but you cannot ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. Be the best version of you for you. And we can see you guys again very soon. You know, shoot, I hear they got a new version of this thing again. This thing will go away, so be careful out there, because Yeah, we can see you all later. Peace.
Peace and love.